Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creator Weekly Live for December 8th, 2024. I'm Peggy Kay, and today there's some smaller updates for YouTube. There is a holiday event happening on Twitch. There's updates for Threads, and there's more 2024 recaps, plus some other updates if there's time. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're here live, please say hello and let me know what you think about this week's updates. So just to get started, I wanted to share a couple of end of the year 2024 recaps. So last week, our recaps were Reddit and YouTube music. This week, there's a bunch more, but I'm going to mention a couple of neat features from the recaps for Spotify and Google Photos. So, starting with your 2024 Spotify Wrapped is now available. You can access this in the Spotify app. And if you had enough listening time in Spotify, you'll see this. There's your top music and music videos, your evolution as a listener over the course of a year, and clips from artists and podcasts that you watch. So nothing too surprising there, but they have a neat new feature. Spotify is collaborating with Google to give you My Wrapped AI podcast. Now, this is powered by Notebook LM. And what it does is take the information in your Wrapped recap and use AI to generate a sort of podcast AI overview where it's like two people talking about your updates. It's a fun thing. Now, in Spotify, this is only available in the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Ireland, and Sweden. If you're not in one of those countries and you still want a Wrapped AI podcast, what you can do is go to Notebook LM, that's notebooklm.google.com, and you can upload a file, a text file, a PDF with the details about your recap, and then have it generate an audio overview, because Notebook LM supports something like 140 countries. I can't even remember exactly. And it supports more than 100 languages. So it doesn't even have to be in English, but the output, the sort of podcast overview, is going to be in English. So that's kind of fun. And you can do this with all of your recaps if you want, if you do it directly in Notebook LM. There are also some updates from Spotify for artists. That's like musicians and bands. There's an update for creators. That's podcasters. So if you're a podcaster and your podcast is on Spotify, you should have a Wrapped. And finally, there is Wrapped for authors. That's audiobooks on the platform. And that's all things that Spotify is sort of pushing this year. You know, they're really diving into podcasts and audiobooks and not just music, also music videos. So check that out if you use Spotify. This week, Google also started rolling out the recap from Google Photos. If you save your photos over the year to Google Photos, you should have this option. And this year, I think it's pretty neat. It's up in the memories at the top of your library. I can see it both on desktop and in the mobile app. For some of these memories, you need to have face grouping turned on. You can do that in your Google Photos settings, but for things like your top faces, it needs to know whose faces those are. Also, if you have Gemini enabled in Google Photos, this is only in the US, and I think it may be invite only. You may also get an AI generated, highlights of the year. These are short videos, and you can download them, you can share them on mobile. It's just kind of fun. So over in the chat, Andrew says, I see more and more people using Notebook LM for interesting things. Yes, I think it's actually one of the coolest features. Notebook LM is really interesting because it's being developed by a group at Google sort of as an experiment. And they have a Discord where users can provide feedback and make suggestions and things like that. It's very much user-driven, which I think is why it's getting a lot more buzz than some of these other AI features that nobody really asked for. It is super interesting to me that Google decided to do this collaboration with Spotify. This was not with YouTube Music. I assume this is partially to kind of get the word out there to more people about how this works. So it's pretty interesting. And on eBoard, Nina says it's an awesome feature. Google Photos around it. Love it. I love it too. A lot of fun this year. It is still rolling out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Google Photos says that it will stay up in your memories through the December. And then after December, it becomes part of your photo library. You can save it now, but it should save it automatically as well. So a few updates from YouTube. The first is that they are promoting an opportunity for creators to sign up for user research. Shape the future of YouTube, it says. You can go to the link that I have here and you can sign up. It was also on the Creator Insider YouTube channel if you want more information. The idea is you fill out a questionnaire, and then if there's research that they think would be relevant to you, they send you an invite. If you complete the research, a lot of times they'll give you a thank you gift, like a gift card sort of thing. So if you like giving feedback, you should definitely sign up. A reminder, if you're not in the US and your YouTube partner, you submitted US tax forms in your AdSense account, those expire after 3 years if you submitted them in 2021, which is when Google started requiring this. They will expire at the end of the year. Google says be sure to submit your updated forms by December 10th to make sure everything is all processed by the end of the year. And you can do that inside your AdSense account. Another update is that the feature with using jewels to purchase gifts. We talked about that a month ago. They started rolling this out. It's a new feature for monetization. And this should be rolled out 100% to creators and viewers in the United States. The idea is that viewers can buy a bundle of jewels. They can then use these jewels to buy virtual gifts for people who are vertical live streaming. Along with those gifts, there are rubies for the creator. Those rubies are worth actual money, a small amount of money. So the idea is this is a fun monetization feature. I wanted to mention that I did not have this option available in my YouTube channel's earn settings, even though I should be eligible. I reached out to creator support. It was because my AdSense account was not yet identity verified. Now, I have a really old AdSense account, and when they started requiring identity verification, older accounts were grandfathered in. You didn't actually have to go through that process. And now I do because I asked about it. So if you are eligible for getting these virtual gifts and you're in the US and you don't see the option on the Earn tab of YouTube Studio, you should reach out to creator support, and you may have to go through the identity verification process inside your AdSense account. And then just as a last note from YouTube, the redesigned content tab in the YouTube Studio mobile app has rolled out more widely. I'm using an Android device. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. The new content tab is divided into sections with videos, shorts, live, and playlists. So it's better organized than the old tab. It has more focus on what they call key metrics, views, and so forth. There's a clear indication if the video is unlisted or private. And you may see icons about monetization, but only if there's a problem. So this is supposed to be more visually clear about what's happening with the content on your channel. So I want to mention on eBoard, Nina says we have a Notebook LM related poll today. You can go to the community tab for on eBoard and take that poll. So I'll give that a shout out. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit here to Twitch. Now, oops. Twitch is doing something called Holiday Hoopla. Woo! And this runs through December 13th. So this is not the entire month of December. And they are encouraging holiday-themed content shared on mobile, and they might reshare that. You've got to tag everything with the Holiday Hoopla tag. And they have a couple unique things. The first is that they want you to share a clip to YouTube or TikTok. So from inside your Twitch account, take a clip, share it to your YouTube or TikTok channel, and then if you do that, you can get a special badge. This is a new feature, new-ish feature. Obviously, they're pushing that. The other feature that they are pushing is that if you run a shared chat collab for at least 15 minutes, it will unlock holiday emotes for your Twitch account. So the idea is that you run one of these collabs and it has to have the Holiday Hoopla tag on it. You can see these on a Holiday Hoopla page in Twitch. And then you get these special holiday emotes. Again, you need to do this by December 13th to be eligible. I will mention that we're having a discussion over on Threads. Defender 833 points out that when you're sharing clips from Twitch to YouTube, don't do that too much. It could actually look kind of spammy. Also, if you're monetizing your YouTube channel, that's going to be reused content. So don't go crazy sharing clips necessarily from Twitch to YouTube. I also don't know what Twitch's goal here is exactly. Asking people to share clips to other platforms, doesn't that bring people to the other platforms? I don't understand. I'm sure there's some sort of plan. I don't know what Twitch is doing. Right, so I'm going to shift gears entirely now and talk about an update. So on Threads, Threads is Meta's sort of Twitter equivalent. Um, it's actually kind of neat. Threads very slowly has been working on Fediverse integration. Now, the idea is that if you're in the Fediverse, this uses a protocol called ActivityPub. You can basically talk to anyone else, no matter whether they're on the same platform as you or not. And Threads has been very slowly rolling this out. The new feature this week is that if you have Fediverse integration enabled on your Threads profile, you can follow any Fediverse user, like someone on Mastodon who engages with a Threads post. So if someone over on Mastodon is following a Threads account and they reply to somebody's post, you can then click on that, open their profile from inside Threads and follow them. Now, that posts from these people do not show up in your Threads feed yet, but you can enable notifications so you're notified of new posts, all from inside Threads. So this is, again, decentralized. The idea is that you can sign up for any social platform and then they can still talk to each other the same way you can sign up for any email platform and the emails can talk to each other. This does not directly integrate with Blue Sky, which uses a different protocol, but there are bridging services where you can also connect your Blue Sky into the ActivityPub Fediverse. I think it's interesting times. And it's kind of neat to think that eventually there'll be this system where you don't need to be locked into a particular platform. So this is baby steps on the part of Threads, but I think it's going the right direction. Another update from Threads is that they are testing post insights, where you can get insights and your top posts are ranked by views and interactions. You can select time periods of the past week, past month, past 90 days. It's useful if you're using Threads. You can see these details. One thing that I noticed is kind of interesting in my account, one of the changes that Threads made recently is that they changed the algorithm for the For You feed to lean more towards people you're following. And I'm actually seeing that in the stats with more engagement from people who follow me than just random people. It's not that great for mine necessarily because I don't have that many followers, but I think it's interesting that you can actually see this. Let's see. And then the last sort of social media update this week. If you have broadcasts for Instagram, this requires a professional account. Broadcasts, basically, it's like making announcements. It's a mostly text-based feed, and you can announce things. And up until now, people could like those announcements. Now they are adding a feature where you can enable replies. So people can engage with your broadcast posts more directly with responses. They are offering some prompts to get people talking, and there's going to be analytics on these as well, so you can get more insights about your fans. I think it's an interesting path they're taking. How does this differ from social media? The main difference is that it's just your channel, right? So if you have this set up, it's not like social media where there's one big feed with everybody's posts. Instead, people have to go to your feed directly. It's your community space. This seems to be a trend. Same idea, YouTube communities kind of building the same thing, where there's a community that you manage, even though the kinds of posts are similar to other platforms. So I want to first mention also just a couple fun things. The first thing is that, as some of you know, I'm a Google product expert. That means I volunteer to help people in the Google Help communities. And I got a fun bit of swag this week. My community manager for Google Meet sent me some Google product expert socks. I know it's like a total middle-aged thing that I get excited about socks, but this is great. I don't need more t-shirts or bags necessarily. Socks I can always use. Blue and gold are the best colors also. They say product experts on the soles of the feet. It's kind of subtle, more subtle than some things. But anyway, I'm having fun with my socks. The other thing is, for the Black Friday deals, I finally pulled the trigger to get a paid account to live stream from. If you've been watching my Creator Weekly News live streams, I've been rotating between StreamYard, Restream, and Talk Studio. They all had deals for Black Friday. And I looked at all the details, and I'm going with Restream. There's a bunch of reasons for that. The features are pretty similar across platforms, not too surprising. I liked Restream. I was really put off by StreamYard because I have a StreamYard account. It said, oh, Black Friday deal, you should upgrade. And I clicked it, and the pop-up just is like, enter your credit card information without telling me any details about the cost or anything like that. So I noped out of that. I did find the prices and details eventually, but that really left sort of a bad taste in my mouth that, StreamYard wants your money first and will tell you the details later. Restream is what I'm using. It has a bunch of great features, and I'm still learning how to use the advanced features. So if you see me fiddling with things, that's probably what it is. Maybe I will use it to vertical live stream it to get GIFs once that's all sorted out in my account, but I doubt I'm exciting enough for GIFs. All right. So a couple more updates. Some of you may be familiar with Cameo. Cameo is a platform mostly for celebrities, athletes, and they can record small video clips for people. So basically you pay and then you have the celebrity say something, happy birthday to someone or whatever. Celebrities is a celebrities. Cameo has something now called CameoX that is basically open to everyone. Previously, you would either have to be referred to Cameo or you would have to go through an application process. This basically lets you sign up, go through identity verification, and you can start doing it. The reason why Cameo says they were missing a new wave of emerging creators who could benefit from the platform but weren't allowed on. I think it shows sort of the nature, especially of internet celebrity, where you might get famous really fast. And if you want to actually profit from that a little bit, do something like Cameos, you need to be able to set it up really quickly. So that's now an option with Cameos. And then finally, really quickly, this is changing gears entirely. If you use Google Forms, they have a great new feature where you can actually set who can respond to the form. Previously, Google Forms either let you limit it to your Google Workspace organization, if you use Google Workspace, or anyone with the link could fill out the forms. Now you can actually set it sort of the same way you set things for your Google Drive or Google Docs collaboration, same kind of tools. That is rolling out now. It probably will take into January to roll out those features. Let's see. Andrew says, I thought you let it make a video with, I assume you're talking about Cameo. That sounds really scary. Elon is he's a little frenetic. Too many drugs or something. I don't know. No. So those are the updates for this week. I keep hoping that there's going to be fewer updates because of the holiday season. I think all the platforms are pushing things out as quickly as they can to get them done by the end of the year. So I'm sure there will be more updates this week. Another note that if you want to get all the updates and links and information every week, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. There's a link in the video description. I also do a public blog post. You can get all of the details there. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all